Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga Texas construction update video.
Well, welcome back to a very hot and humid Friday, the 9th of September here at Giga Texas. A lot of activity today, but for the intro, I'm going to focus on three interesting developments. The theme for today is drilling. As you can see here on the south end on that transportation lot where all the new cars are positioned and picked up by the transportation trucks, there's actually a drilling operation going on. It looks like it's a core drill, which means that they're testing the strength of the soil underneath this entire slab. What this means, I can't really say for sure, but it does make us think a little bit about the 500-foot extension of the building, and maybe this area at some point might see some construction. I'm going to have to continue to monitor this. It's a very interesting development. Then a little bit further east of this area, even further east of the horizontal drilling operation, I noticed a new road and a clearing area, so I followed it out with the drone, as you can see by these images. And I found another site amongst the trees where workers are doing another core drilling sample, as you can see. What this is, I do not know. This is well away from any construction so far at the site. So another thing to be continued to watch and see what they come up with. And finally, on the north side at the electrical substation, a very large drill, a specialized drill, is in place. And this drill, as you can see by the images here, is designed to drill those very large bores for those large rebar cages to go into and then ultimately become a very large mount for the steel power lines that hold up the electrical wires that go north-south along the middle part of the factory. Now, it looks like there's going to be 4 of these very large poles installed, so it'll be interesting to see this as it develops as well. As I mentioned, a lot more to see in the video today. I'll do another narration and flight so you get a lot more information, so check out that video. I hope you have a great weekend, and as always, thank you very much for watching my videos, and also just keep all the workers here in mind. Working in these very hot and humid conditions is very difficult, and they still do amazing work. So again, thank you very much for watching. Have a great weekend.
A special thank you to all of my outstanding Patreons for your continued encouragement and support. Patreon members get access to hundreds of high-resolution photos, previews of the future material, and direct dialogue with me. If you would like to support my channel, please consider becoming a patron using this link, which is also in the video description. Please also consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga Texas. Well, I hope you enjoyed those views of a very beautiful sunrise over Giga Texas this morning, and it revealed yet again another very busy site. We'll start on the west side of the highway at this material storage, just to give you an idea of any of the changes that are happening here. Now, much of this material is used all over the site. Some of it, the white components that you see here, are used inside the factory for production lines. The large tanks are going to be most likely going to the battery cathode plant. The parts that just went underneath that covered awning is probably going for the plastics machinery structure. And then a lot of this is just building materials and other components such as glass panels and equipment that will be moved into the main factory or onto the main factory at some point as the construction continues. But I'm going to bring the drone over towards the main entrance of Giga Texas just to give you views of how it appears with the sun rising over the horizon. And we'll take up the video again on the other side of the highway and look at some of the developments near the main entrance location. So we can see the reconfiguration of the main entrance area here is continuing to progress. We'll start with this structure on the berm just opposite the main entrance, glass doors and the staircases. As you can see, they are filling this area in now with dirt, and you'll see another dump truck coming in to fill it in. It's interesting to see how this is developing, and looks like they're reestablished some of the berm on the west side of the concrete structure, and now they're filling in the base. So still not sure exactly what this is for, but it'll be interesting to watch as it develops. Of course, the main staircase and the glass doors continue to have some work being done. You can see some plastic there. I think they're going to reconfigure some of that landing area with some ramps at some point. And they've already poured 2/3 of the concrete here, and as you can see, they're preparing with rebar and form work for more concrete to be poured in this sort of thin section. And then this fourth section here, a lot of plumbing work that is being done, and up near the walls of the actual factory itself. And you can see with the size of the workers just how large some of this construction is. We'll continue to go to the south along this area. I will stop here just to show you the extensive activity that's going on in all of these brand new cargo doors, or as I've been informed, receiving doors. And you can also see the cargo door levelers being installed and tested on these doors, or the receiving doors on the left-hand side of the screen. And you can see crews preparing to install more here. Now, 4 of them here have been installed. 3 more are in the process of being configured for the installation. And once these are done, I would expect to see more and more trucks arriving and bringing in components for General Assembly Lines 2 and 3 as those continue to be constructed in this section of the building. As we can see, a lot more Model Ys, not all in white now. There's other colors starting to show back up again, which is a nice change. There's also some significant changes on that concrete ramp going on, and we'll return back there in a moment to show you that. But I want to also show you the material storage here. I think it may be related to a new development on that concrete loading lot. But take a look at how much of the materials have been stockpiled here and how much continues. This is significant, and it kind of suggests that there is another large construction project getting ready to begin. And as we continue to look at the material storage yard here on the east side with all of the trailers temporarily moved here as they do work on the east warehouse on wheels yard location, I'll pan the drone back and we see again the new cars arranged for transport. Transport's already picking up a few of the vehicles as well, and overall just the number of vehicles that have been produced and getting ready to be moved up to the rail yard up at Untitled, Texas. But then I noticed this, and we'll get in a little bit closer and I'll give you some good views. What this truck is a drill, and the drill is most likely doing samples of the soil underneath this entire concrete slab. Now, why would they be doing that? There's a lot of different possibilities, but one of them may be related again to the discussion and the information from Elon Musk about the factory growing 500 feet longer, the material storage just to the south with all of that steel being added in, and with now trucks doing some core sampling underneath this slab. I don't know, this is pure speculation on my part, it may be an error, but all of these signs may be indicating that we might see some construction on this location at some point in the near future, and instead of having the new cars here being picked up, they may be moved over to that new storage and transportation site on the east side. But as you can see, more activity inside the south end of the building at the stamping extension with forklifts and other machinery entering and exiting as they continue to fill out the excavation area with the isolation foundation for some pretty large machinery. Now I'll wrap around the east side of the stamping machine structure just to give you an idea of the activity here, but I want to then bring the drone up and over to the east, further to the east than we've looked in the recent past, and show you some interesting developments that I noticed this morning. So we cross over that material storage location with all the trailers. That's fairly familiar, and you can see those ICOM equipment that's still stored there. We also see what appears to be some workers in this clearing location where dirt is being excavated, preparing for some future work. But I'm going to continue to bring the drone further to the southeast, and you'll notice the dirt on the left. This is part of a roadway structure that connects over to this area, and in these trees, it looks like there's crews doing more drilling, and this drilling again looks like it may be for soil samples to test the strength of the soil here. And if they're doing that, that would suggest that there's future construction likely in this particular area. Now I'll bring the drone up just to show you where we are located, and you can see this dirt road, and I'm going to follow the dirt road back over to the horizontal drilling location where they are drilling horizontally underneath the Colorado River to pull more of the large treated and standard water pipes under the river. So as we talked about in the intro, the theme today is drilling, and there's quite a bit of drilling going on, some in completely new locations today, and others like this, the horizontal drilling, looks like they've got some more of the excavation work just in front of the drill, and the drill is pretty much active right now, drilling underneath the Colorado River for those pipes. So again, very interesting developments. Now I'm going to fly all the way over to the east side along again the Colorado River, pointing towards that new area with the road, the dirt work, and also the drilling, just to put into context where all of this is located and how it is situated with all the rest of the construction. And as you can see, it's quite far from everything else that's under construction right now. So now we've arrived at the far southeast clearing location where they've prepared that semi-permanent surface with all of the trailers and equipment, and also you see these red and white containers. These are for recycling, and just how this entire area appears today in relation to the battery cathode plant and the warehouse on wheels yard in the center of the screen. And you can see here all of the materials are being relocated over to this particular location to clear out the area where all this grade work is going. And the thing that strikes me most about this is just how much wider this area now appears today, and how it continues to encroach into where that warehouse on wheels with all the trailers are. And it just continues to suggest that this area is going to be expanded to be contiguous all along this entire location, making a very large logistics warehouse on wheels yard in this particular location of the construction site. So let's move up further towards the battery cathode plant, and there's a lot to see here as well today. So as we approach the building, I will position the drone to look into the south portion of the structure. You can see the upper floor walls are continuing to be installed. Work on the left-hand side of the screen on the second floor for mounts for equipment. And on the ground floor, this very heavily reinforced slab. It looks like it's mostly cured now. It's been cross-cut, and they're using this for some equipment as they continue to prepare for construction. Now, just north of there, you can see all of this yellow material on the ground. This is a moisture barrier, and it suggests that this is the next section, which will see concrete What we'll see soon is rebar being installed on this yellow area, and then more concrete. You can also kind of get an idea of the concrete work on the second and third floors, the mezzanine on the third floor as well, and just overall activity, especially on the roof as well, where we'll come back and get a closer view in just a bit. But the activity on the east side of the building here with all of the trucks, equipment, and materials just continues to grow and expand. Now, speaking of growing and expanding, I'll give you a good view of this excavation area just northeast of the battery cathode plant. As you can see, it's quite active. Work is going on to excavate dirt to fill into center dump trucks, some of which are going to the east side, but now, as you see, quite a bit of it is being used to fill in these ponds. And the pond filling, as you see in the middle of the screen, has just continued at a rapid pace, while other leveling and redistribution of the dirt on the rest of the section continues. But the width of this particular section continues to grow. It's growing towards the west, and this suggests that this is going to be some sort of construction site at some point in the future. Again, something that will definitely need to continue to be monitored. You can see all these center dump trucks here being loaded up and moving the dirt from one location to the other to flatten out the entire grade. Approaching the northwest corner of the battery cathode plant. On the second floor, we can see concrete has been poured just this morning, and they're using those ridden devices to flatten out the concrete and smooth it out. So that basically brings to an end the concrete work on the second and third floors of this structure, so another milestone. We also see a pump truck here, a Keystone red and white truck, being used to pour concrete on the second floor to finish up that particular section. We see more of the material storage here. Will be steel pipes, steam pipes, regular water pipes, and also some stairs onto the left, and just a lot of activity going on here as well. I'll bring the drone in so you can see a different view of the upper floor walls, the HVAC large ducting and tubular ducting, the ground floor, and also this loading platform, which looks like it's being expanded or at least modified from what we saw 2 days ago. So it'll be another thing to continue to watch. I'm going to move the drone over to the roof section just to show you the progress on the weatherproof membrane. About a third of the building now has that, so that's the final roof covering. And in the middle section here, you see crews busy installing some of the insulation panels. That's what you see them picking up there, and then the weatherproof membrane will be put on top of that. And you can see them in the white rolls. So again, a lot of progress here at the battery cathode plant, and we're worth watching to see how fast the progress continues over the next coming weeks and months. So now we've arrived over at the electrical substation construction area, and we'll see quite a bit of changes and developments going on. First, here on the north section, you see all these rebar cages on the ground. These are the mounts that will be used for these large steel poles that support the high power or high tension power lines. You can see a crane here getting ready to lift up one of these large rebar cages on the right hand side of the screen, and on the left hand side of the screen we see this drill, and I'll give you a closer look at this particular drill. And it's got a sort of the drill on the end of the device here, and that is used to make the large circular holes that these rebar cages will be put into. And that'll be neat to see. The fact that it is already here suggests we'll start seeing that drilling and the installation of some of those cages pretty soon. It also suggests that we'll start seeing some more construction on the electrical substation components directly. Looks like work on the overall grade of the main construction site is nearing some completion, but they're still being adding dirt onto that flat surface. And here you can see the stormwater pipe installation and how they're routing the road around to the west. That suggests that they will continue further to the east soon. You can also see how the stormwater pipe here installation is going on underneath the roadway here. You can see the concrete pipes and vaults being arrayed. And I just want to give you this view. There's more of these truss structures that will be used for the actual construction of the electrical substation have been delivered and stored here. So again, another sign that construction should be very near on that flat surface. So I'll be watching that to develop over the next week or so. I'll give you a view on the east side of the casting machine structure with all of the Giga Press castings arranged here. Again, the rack mounts are mostly empty right now, but there's a lot more arrayed on the ground floor. And just continue to monitor as the ebb and flow of castings arrive here and then are moved into the body in white for production. And it's just interesting to see how this process is working. I'm going to fly over to the roof just to give you an update on the solar panel installation here between the E and the T. On my previous video, they were adding in one more section for this expansion of the solar panels, and as you can see now amongst these chimneys, the expansion area that they were working on is completed. I don't see much more activity right now. It could be because they're at a logical stopping point, or it could be that the rate of getting new solar panels in is less than the rate of installation. But in any case, we should see continued installation of solar panels. There's still a lot more to go, probably about another 45,000 or so to fill out the rest of the roof. Now that we're on the north side of the paint shop structure, I'll bring the drone down just to show you there's quite a bit of activity going on here in and around these two platforms, with a lot of deliveries. You can see some componentry on the left side by that yellow truck that had just been delivered. We see what looks like white painted large platforms in front of those three doors on the ground level. A lot of the green shrink wrapped modular components. We see what appears to be bridge or maybe gantry cranes, these orange red devices right in the middle of the screen. And we also see more of the white racking mounts and some other large white wrapped equipment as well. So again, quite a bit of activity here, and it just gives you an indication that there's a lot going on inside the factory to continue to build out its production capability. We see here these two platforms that serve the third and fourth floor of the 4680 battery cell production location are also very busy, and it looks like they were bringing off a dumpster full of refuse from the third or fourth floor, and that happens quite often. Now that we're on the northwest corner, I'll bring the drone up just to show you the current status of the HVAC ducting here. The cooling towers on the left-hand side of the screen, two more remain to be installed, and then the other ducts on the right-hand side of the screen. So I'll do a pull away here to just show you the overall progress and appearance of the north side of the factory right now, and all of the solar panels that have been installed to this point in time. And I will also position the drone further to the east, and we'll do a long pull away all the way up past the battery cathode plant, just to give you another view of the entire work site and how everything is progressing and where everything is in relation to the main factory building. I hope that you enjoyed all of these views and the information throughout the video, And again, thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate that. It's just amazing how many people from all over the world are watching these videos. So thank you very much. I hope you all have a great weekend. And again, thank you for watching.